Here I have 2 tablespoons of butter melted and 1 tablespoon of olive oil so that the butter doesn't burn. Then I have half an onion chopped, 2 bay leaves, 2 peppercorns, and some thyme, about half a teaspoon of thyme in there. Now what I'm trying to do is do the stock base for the lobster pasta that I'm going to be cooking. I added in the lobster head and a little bit of that lobster, nice gooey stuff. I'm just going to use some Chinese Shaoxing wine. Just going to cook it down. So I added in about, say, a 1/4 cup. So I have a bowl of water here. I'm going to put it in with the lobster. There. This pot is actually too big for the small lobster head, so I'm going to switch it around. So here is the lobster in a more reasonable sized pot. That's the lobster head. I'm going to let it cook for about 15 minutes. I'll throw in some legs because, you know what, more flavor. There you go. Not really going to eat these, right? So, here's another one. Okay, so that's my lobster stock. I'm going to cook it for about 15 minutes. So I'm frying half an onion in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then I'm going to add some garlic and so 2 garlic cloves and 3 chopped, can't hold this camera and put everything in, and 3 chopped sun-dried tomatoes. So I've strained that lobster stock into here, and I'm going to use this for cooking. So I've added 2 chopped bell peppers into my onion, garlic, and sun-dried tomatoes mixture that I was cooking. And after cook that first mixture for about 5 minutes, and then added in these peppers now. 1 teaspoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of sun-dried tomato paste. Just to hold everything together before I start adding. For the tails, what I did was I actually blanched them in this stock that I'm going to be using in the pasta sauce just for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then I took them out and I took out the lobster tails, and they're almost cooked. So I'm just going to cut them up a little bit with my scissors and then throw them in the end. So it's just easier so we don't have to pick apart the tails when we're eating the pasta. Claws, what I did was I also blanched them in that stock for about 30 seconds. Okay? And I just set them aside. And then now what I'm going to do is add in the tomatoes. So I've poured in the stock just to cover the tomatoes and just boiling it rapidly. Just extract as much flavor as possible from the tomatoes. Basil, which I'm going to add in. Wow, it smells really good. And added in about a tablespoon of ketchup just to pull everything together. Balance out the flavors. Lobster goes in. Stir it. So I cooked them for 15 seconds earlier, so now it's just 15 seconds. Capellini pasta. I pre-cooked that and also just dunked it with cold water so it wouldn't stick together drastically. So I love doing that because once you cook the pasta with the sauce, it just pulls everything together. I actually didn't put any salt in this pasta. I think it was because there was salt in the sun-dried tomatoes already. But obviously as with everything, you have to taste it and then re-season. So I'm going to finish it off putting some pepper over top because I think it's salty enough. we're done here. Okay. I'm going to throw in the lobster head, but it's not coming off the body, so I'll come back to you on that one. It's a lot. It's really strong. Probably a little bit heavy-handed in pouring that Chinese sherry into.